Hello, my beautiful creations. Your crazy coach lady, Amanda Trombley here, and we are going to get started in just a second, giving you an in-depth approach to exactly what Mental Wealth Rise Up is all about and exactly why this is a no-brainer deal for you. So if I could figure out how to invite some people onto this on my computer, I would do so, but I can't figure that out. So we'll just go ahead and jump right into all of the good stuff. So, as I've said a few times before, Mental Wealth Rise Up is going to be the last of its level of teaching in the experience with Ignite Trombley Coaching. From this point on, Ignite Trombley Coaching is going to be reaching out to higher level facilities of learning, engaging, incorporating, and growing in your truth and majestic nature. So if you have been following along, if you have been staying in the background, or if you are currently struggling, this is the video to watch because we are going to dig into everything you need to know about here, exclusive offers, and exactly the result that you are going to receive by participating in Mental Wealth Rise Up. So, to give you a brief overview, Mental Wealth Rise Up is your all-included container for emotional evolution. This is going to be the container, the sacred container that allows you to transition from where you currently are emotionally and create, manifest the freedom that you desire, not only emotionally, but physically, spiritually, and financially. So Mental Wealth Rise Up is all inclusive. It has all of the pieces that you need to take yourself from where you're at now, from exactly where you want to be. So who is this program for? This is for the person that is constantly taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back. This is for the person that's stuck in this merry-go-round of cycling of life that they're feeling at this point incredibly attached to and lacking the ability to get out of themselves. This is for the woman who is dealing with anxiety in a manner to where it's affecting the way that she raises her children, shows up in her friendships, and perpetuates her business dealings and her marriage relationship. This is for the woman who is holding on to clinical or seasonal depression that has shifted her away from living in the created life that she wants to live because of her attachment to the emotional feelings she is dealing with. This is for the woman who is interested in all things wealthy living, abundant living, spiritual solutions, so on and so forth, and is a struggler herself, but really wants to get to know herself better, fall in love with herself, and create some serious disciplines that allow her to manifest the emotional freedom that she's desiring. This is for the person that feels stuck and stressed, when all they really desire to be is blessed and free. This is for so many different types of pain and struggle, because this is the ultimate container that will allow you to rise your consciousness up to a state of mental wealth. And as we have learned here, when our consciousness is in a state of producing mental wealth, the creation at our fingertips becomes unlimitless, and our ease and ability to manifest and create abundance physically, spiritually, mentally, and financially becomes a breeze for us. So if you are stuck, stressed, angry, frustrated, struggling to understand yourself, struggling to get ahead in life, struggling to push past the limitations, struggling to push past your unconscious operating forces, this is the container for you, which I know reaches just about every single woman in this group right now. In any way, shape, or form, we have sincere pain and struggle that we are holding on to. And I have used these exact principles in my own life to move through PTSD and severe attachment to trauma, to move through and create a life of bliss despite anxiety and panic disorder, to create the confidence and abundance in my life and my business despite my initial insecurities, failures, and fears, to create a bonded relationship with my children despite my own emotional setbacks, and to grow exponentially into the woman that I've become. Now, the reason that I say that this container is for all different types of pain is because this container is based off of my education and my personal experience with all different types of pain. And so I would love for you to reach out and say, this is my pain, this is what I'm dealing with, and let us hear it out. Let us begin to lean into what is the right container for you. So if you sign up, if you join us for Mental Wealth Rise Up, exactly what is the result that you are going to see? Number one, the result that you are going to see is going to be so incredible that we can't even put into words. So often the majority of us desire to have those physical, tangible elements of abundance. The money, the car, the success, the wealth, so on and so forth. But what this container does is work you from the inside out so that your primary result is the freedom emotionally, spiritually, and physically that you are desiring. And when you achieve that state of mind, when you begin to learn how to live in that state of mind, you can manifest any of those tangible physical desires that you wish to have. So, what is the result? The result is you creating the life that you truly want. The result is you being able to be present and emotionally centered with your children. The result is you falling helplessly in love with yourself and completely understanding who you are so that you can move forward with any conflict with a sacred solution for you. The result is a magnitude of blessings in your own emotional freedom that you are going to grab at, that you are going to get to experience living in a daily state of freedom, which means no more whining, no more complaining, no more feeling trapped or locked away by all of that harms you. It means stepping into your power right here and right now and taking back control of your life so that you're achieving a state of self-mastery. So let's talk about what some of the other women that have worked with me before, both in previous containers and one-on-one, have received. And the reason why I'm going into this is because everything that I have put into little containers here and there to larger containers here and there is going to be in this container of Mental Wealth Rise Up. So some of my clients that I have worked one-on-one with have gone from desiring something big in their life and not being able to stand up for it to becoming that self-published author and that speaker that is beginning to travel and experience the joy of speaking. Some of the clients that I have worked with, many of the clients that I have worked with, have gone from stuck in a rut to creating businesses that absolutely light them on fire and show their power and worth not only to themselves but to everybody around them. I've had clients work with me in containers and one-on-one that have left toxic relationships of 15 plus years, and some of them have found love, true love, not the romantic bullshit, but true unconditional love in just months of healing themselves. I have clients from all over the nation who have stepped out of their lack, out of their scarcity, and created complete abundance with total courage. I have had clients lose a ton amount of weight, increase the love in their circle and community, and move into peace with their declared freedom. So when I tell you that your result cannot just be summed up into one specific thing, I mean it. Because when you begin to raise the consciousness of your mentality, you begin to receive abundance in every area. Where you lacked fear, where you held fear, you now feel courage. Where you held insecurity, you now feel confident. Where you held lack, you now see and experience abundance. Where your system felt out of control and pushed away, you now are surrendering to the ability of something greater than you and enjoying every step of the moment and the process of flow. So the result that you'll receive by coming in with us, by banding with us and creating your own emotional freedom knows no bounds. And as we spoke about before, we know this to be true because of the morphic illumination, because of the field that we get transcended into when what we focus on is changing our internal systems and allowing ourselves to rise up. So we have a solution here, a container here that is truly for each and every one of our individual struggles. And we have a container here that is going to rise us up to each and every one of our individual desires. What is it going to include? Our first option for you to join us with Mental Wealth Rise Up is our masterclass. The masterclass is a 2-hour class with me, which is going to go through our 6 transformational principles of rising up your wealth consciousness. For 2 hours, we're going to get nitty-gritty together, and you're going to listen to me teach and give you details and give you insights and teach you principles that you've never heard before, that you desire, that you need to implement into your life to create the wealth consciousness that you desire. So in 2 hours, we're going to go back and forth. We're not just going to make this some generalized topic here. We're going to go back and forth, you and me, on exactly what your specific tools need to be, exactly your specific struggles. And although we're going to have that time to share intimately and personally and get you going on the right path, we're going to ensure that in this timeline, all 6 principles are being taught to you so that you walk away from that masterclass in the bliss and energy that you need to create the wealth consciousness. You're going to walk away from the masterclass knowing exactly what steps to take immediately following the next day, the next month, the next year after working together in this masterclass. This masterclass is $199, but for everybody who has participated in our Mental Wealth Consciousness Rise Up Facebook group, so everybody who has been in this group with us, your masterclass is only $111. Now let me tell you why this is a steal. If you've ever checked out my website or you've followed me for a minute, you know that my one-on-one services are $189 per hour. And what we do in a one-on-one service is we focus specifically on what you need in that hour to get you to where you want to go. But what we're doing here for literally more than half the price of my one-on-one hour with you, we're going to double your time, and we're going to take you through these 6 transformational principles that you haven't heard of, that you aren't using, and take them to transcending you to the next step. So gigantic, huge no-brainer here. Masterclass, $111 for 2 hours of one-on-one work in these 6 transformational principles to turn your life around and move you in the specific direction of your choosing. Now, the second way that you can join us in Mental Wealth Consciousness or in Rise Up is our Master Code course. Our Master Code course is a 3-module course, and if you've ever taken a course with me, please let me hear it. Amanda does not skimp out on any details. I myself have taken so many courses and have worked one-on-one with so many coaches and been disappointed by the mass amount of money that I'm spending and the sheer lack of value that I'm receiving. And so I vowed to myself from the beginning, and to all of you from the beginning, that would never be my way of creation. So when you sign up to do a Master Code course with me, you get everything. You get more information than you can handle. You get every piece of detail that I have created, that I have thrived in, that I have loved, that I have nurtured, that I have experienced, that I have learned, given to you in this specific container. So our Mental Wealth Rise Up Master Code course is going to tear these 6 transformational principles into 3 modules. And each module itself is going to have 3 to 4 different sections on it where we are getting nitty-gritty. So I'm going to run through those real quick for you just so you can see the mass amount of value, the mass amount of stuff that you're going to be getting in our Master Code course. So number 1, we're going to talk about motivation is shit. This is a huge thing. We spoke very briefly about it, and I gave you maybe 10 minutes of insight to this transformational principle that changed my entire fucking life and allowed me to be sitting here, right here before you today, instead of dead in a dumpster somewhere. So we're going to be talking about full-length video of motivation is shit and exactly what that means for you and how to turn that around in your life. We're going to be digging into the aspect of raising your standards. We're going to be digging into those beliefs that are holding you back, those standards that are holding you back, and we're going to set, create, and understand every bit of self-mastery that we can within our standards and our attachment to motivation. We talked about this briefly before, but we're going to dig into it, into the course. We're going to be working on your philosophy for life individually, what that looks like, how it's affected your life, exactly what we need to do to create a philosophy for life that does serve us, and we're going to reset all of those limiting beliefs that have been holding you back this entire time. So that's Module 1, which we're titling Sacred Solutions. Module 1 has 4 parts: motivation is shit, raise your standards, your philosophy for life, and resetting those beliefs. That right there alone is a jam-packed, huge value. That right there alone can transition anybody from being stuck to moving forward. That right there can transition anybody from staying in a lack and complainant and scarcity mindset to feeling abundant and creative in their own worth. That right there, Module 1, Sacred Solutions, right there is a huge value on its own, but we're not stopping there. We're gonna keep on going with our second module, which is, of course, Embrace, Evolve, and Transcend, which is one of my favorite things. Embrace, Evolve, and Transcend is going to have another 4 parts for you. We're gonna be talking about self-care, which means we're not gonna be talking about sitting in the bathtub drinking a glass of wine once a week, but we're going to be talking about the actual self-care rituals that you need, not only to heal what's happening here and to give yourself a break from reality, but the self-care rituals that you need to create some crazy emotional evolution in your life that you can't just help but fall in love with. We're going to be talking about the healing and the coping that you need specifically for your anxiety, your depression, your bipolar, your overwhelm, your uneasiness, your this, your that, your character defect, your chemical imbalance. We're going to be talking about the coping that you need to settle upon, the coping that you need to begin to experience in a divergent way that is going to lift you up and allow you to continue to move forward. We're going to be talking about that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing that I said earlier about attracting illness. Remember when I said that this is an hour-and-a-half video, a 20-page document that gets nitty-gritty on exactly how your attachment to your diagnosis is a gigantic factor in why you are still dealing with your diagnosis in such a shameful and poor fashion? You're going to get that. You're going to get that. You're going to get all of that. You're going to understand and become so absolutely blown away by how this theory of attracting illness has shaped your world and exactly the tools to pull the F out of that. And lastly, for Module 2 of Embrace, Evolve, and Transcend, you're going to get your Recode Your Truth, where we're going to be talking about the specific principles, the specific actions, the specific steps to actually recode your truth so you can believe in morphic illumination, so you can believe in the sacredness of who you are, so you can begin to experience your goddess recognition, so you all can begin to believe, subconsciously rewrite all of the pieces of your soul to make your soul the creator that you desire to be. A huge problem that we find when we're doing all this law of attraction shit is we're saying all the right words, but we're constantly hitting a wall because we're conflicting our inner subconscious, our beliefs, all of these things. And so we're going to tear that apart and recode your truth so manifestation of emotional freedom is the most easiest process for you out there and fun. So that's Module 2. Again, Module 2 alone is packed with crazy good shit. It's packed with a wealth of information that could take you from living in your systems, living in your psyche, and doing, all right, to holy shit, this is what I'm really worth and this is what I'm really capable of. And I can't believe I've been so attached to all this shit because I'm such a badass. So Module 2 alone is of great value, but again, we have another one. We're going to move on to Module 3, which is, I lost my notes. It's all over the place. Module 3, which is your sacred evolution. And so in Module 3, we are going to talk about your passion-driven living, which is so super duper important because most of us are moms or most of us are ladies and we're just walking around this earth really not living passionate, choosing some passion in our clothes, maybe some passion in our foods, maybe some passion in our fun, but we're not living a passion-driven life. Maybe we have a business that we feel strongly about, but we don't live passionately in our every given moment. More than anything, we lived overwhelmed in our every given moment. So we're going to go deep into a passion-driven life, exactly what kind of living that looks like, and exactly how to get it. We're going to talk about your spiritual awakening. We're going to talk about that awakening where we mend the psycho and the spirit and we create an awakening inside ourselves that absolutely lifts us up and allows us, that's what this module is called. This module itself is called Morphic Illumination. Sorry about that. We're going to be talking about your spiritual awakening, which is going to allow you to take the recoded beliefs that you've now created and awaken your mind, your body, and your spirit. We're going to be using that spiritual awakening to create the sacred evolution that allows us to manifest emotionally, spiritually, physically, and financially with complete ease and abundance, without the struggle, without the lack, consciously moving forward and surrendering to the universe's plan and the trust and the guidance that it has for us and the trust and the guidance that is inside of us, which is absolutely going to lead us on to our final topic for the Master Code course for Morphic Evolution module itself, which is going to be that vibrational rising, which lifts you into the plane of creation that takes all of our results and makes it to where there's no words that we can put our finger on. So Module 1 alone is an incredible steal. Module 2 alone is an incredible steal. Module 3 alone is an incredible steal. These are all so valuable containers just on their own. Put together in the format that we have, we take ourselves psychologically and spiritually from point A to the destination we'd like to arrive at by not only using our psyche and not only using woo, but combining the two together to allow us to take it one step at a time, emotionally, physically, spiritually, for ourselves, to create and grow and change and rise up to the consciousness that we desire that knows absolutely no bounds. So, Mental Wealth Rise Up Master Code course is the biggest no-brainer that I've ever put out there. It truly 100% is. And I'm going big and I'm going home and I'm giving this all to you guys because, like I said, this is it for this level of Ignite Trombley coaching. And if you're not in this, if you're not learning this, what is coming next, you're not even going to understand. You're going to be like, well, that's a step ahead for me, and I don't know where to even begin there. So you want to begin in our Mental Wealth Rise Up. You want to begin right here so that when we move forward to just blow your mind type shit, you're going to be moving forward right along with us. You're going to be saying, yes, girl, all the way, because you're going to be at that level with us. You're going to be at that frequency, at that illumination with us. So, okay, are you ready for the price? Because it's crazy stupid, but I'm so excited about this, and I'm so ready to give this to you guys that we're going at it. The price for our Master Code course is $399. That right there is a crazy good deal. Because what you have here is somewhere between 9 and 12 hours of ridiculously incredible content. And remember, that hour price is $1.89. So you got like 12 times that for way little. But because you guys here have shown so much support, so much love, and are jumping in on this, everybody in Rise Up here with us now gets it for $279. Do you guys see why this is such a no-brainer deal here? It's such a no-brainer deal. You get 12 pieces. You get 3 full modules. So what is a module? A module for me looks like this. In Ignite Trombley Coaching, this is what a module looks like. A module looks like a video, a thought provoker, an insight writing, and a heal your shit system. And then another video, and so on and so forth. I never have a module that's one video and one chart. Ever, ever, ever. I have a module that's 2 to 5 videos and 3 to 5 charts. So what's an insight writing? An insight writing is that deeper inner work that you need to do. I don't ask you one question. I don't ask you 2 questions. I get serious with you and you journal it out. You fill that notebook with us because you're dedicated to changing your life and raising your vibration and creating the consciousness that allows you to manifest with ease. That's what we do in our insight writing. You get to know yourself after taking all of the information that you learned from our video, from our lesson, from our coaching lesson. You take it and you move internally on your own to work that shit out, to ask yourself those deep, hard to answer questions that you need to break through to the subconscious. So that's what your insight writings look like. It's not a question. It's not 2 questions. It's nitty gritty work. It's a page. It's getting down and dirty with yourself. It's answering those questions. What's a thought provoker? Thought provokers take it a step further. The thought provokers are something that I like to do that gives you a little bit of a little bit of let me get to know myself a little bit more. Let me not be so super analytical and trying to break through all these barriers, but let me ask myself a little bit of questions to see if I can enjoy who I am a little bit more, to see if I can poke my psyche just a tad or poke my beliefs or my spirituality just a tad and make me think, maybe that is true about myself. I just experienced one of these last night to myself as I was talking to my husband. So I love the thought provokers. They're a little easier, they're a little less heavy on you, and they bring you back to a little bit more basis sense of I'm growing, I'm changing, I'm learning, and this is kind of cool. Next, and I forgot to mention this, but our embodiment practices. What's an embodiment practice? An embodiment practice is the actions that you need to take spiritually to connect to your inner truth. So embodiment practices look like a number of different things. I've had embodiment practices that are get down on the dirty with yourself. I've had embodiment practices that are meditations, that are art projects, that are going out and experiencing the world, dipping your feet into the dirt, different things like that, different embodiment practices where you are placed in your truth and beginning to experiment and play and find the pleasurable attributes of yourself. Lastly, what's a Heal Your Shit system? The Heal Your Shit systems are my favorite. The Heal Your Shit systems came out a few years ago when I was working with another coach to create an incredible program. And the Heal Your Shit systems are these specific individual steps, because we can journal till we're blue in the face and not get anywhere. But at the end of the day, what really requires us is merging the surrender and the flow with the action and the hustle, and merging that in a beautiful space to where as we are moving forward in the now, we are embracing and embodying our very energy while continuing to grow in that very moment by healing the underlying bullshit. So your Heal Your Shit systems are your go-to guides, your daily action steps to break through all of that trauma, unpleasantness, all of that laziness, bitterness, resentment, all of that shit, and rise you to the next level. So your Master Code course, $279 for everybody in this group. 3 full modules, including our insight writings, our thought provokers, embodiment practices, and Heal Your Shit systems. 6 transformational principles broken up into 12 different topics. All for you guys here, $279. Ridiculously good here, guys. So exciting. I'm so excited to give you guys this one. I'm so excited to sum up everything from the beginning to the end at this stage and say, you guys are my audience. Here you are. Let us rise up together. No more struggle. No more pain. No more repeating the same old stupid patterns again and again in our lives. It's time to step in, embody, honor, know our worths, know our truths, act fiercely, fearlessly, with courage, with confidence, with embodiment, without the pain, without the struggle. Take complete control and self-mastery over who we are and what our life is going to look like. That's what this is here for, you guys. So I noted in the comments or in the whatever, that intro, that we were going to be talking about payment plans. Guys, here's a big issue I have with coaching. There's a lot of fabulous coaches that I follow out there. And I believe that coaches should charge their worth. That's a thing. I don't really like that terminology, which is where the air quotes come from. But it's important. We can't just... There's an energy when it comes to money, and if we are charging too low for our services, it doesn't feel good for the coach, which means the coach isn't showing up, and I hate the word coach too, but we're using it right now. The coach isn't showing up the way they should because of that energetic exchange, and then that whole taken advantage of and this and that, it all gets lost in translation. It's bad news. So I believe in a coach charging their worth. But the big problem that I have with this online industry is that you have those high-level coaches that charge $10,000 for 2 months, and they're completely unavailable to those of us in our circle that don't make $10,000 a month. There's that incessant pressure to go get a loan or go get a second job. If your life is really worth it, then you would do it. And I don't buy that shit. I have a family to raise, and I'm not taking a mortgage out on my house just so I can work with you. To me, all of those are really rooted in these yucky scarcity tactics that the coach themselves have put out. And so even though I charge this much, or I have that year-long one-on-one program that's $10,000, or this or that, even though I have those prices, I never, ever, ever want to make myself unavailable to somebody that needs to learn what is being dished out. Yes, there's free resources out there, but those free resources only get you so far. Sometimes you got to step it up. You got to do the scary action. You got to do it. And sometimes financially that scary action is out of your means. And so never, ever, ever, no matter how incredible this business grows to become, will I say, nope, you're broke, I'm not working with you. I hate that. And I'm saying this live here because I'm not afraid of saying this and attracting people that have that mindset or that are financially unstable, because I have been there so much. I have been financially unstable, but would have been the perfect client for so-and-so or so-and-so, but because I was unwilling to take a $10,000 loan out, I was written off. And I never, ever, ever want to do that to anybody in my following. So you have $111 for a masterclass. You have $279 for a master code course. Regardless of which you choose, I will make a payment plan available to you if you are willing to show up in the energy and level of commitment for me. That's the energetic exchange here. I don't mind if you have to pay in payment plans. I believe there's only 2 coaches that paid in full. Most of them have been on payment plans, and some of them have even been on payment plans that were much less than that coach originally intended, like had advertised. So I don't mind doing that. But if I'm showing up for you, you have to show up for me. So I need to have that energetic exchange to where I'm not putting myself on the line. I am giving you a hand up so that you can reach in with me and we can rise together. So I know that's a big thing. I know it's a big thing for me. Even I was looking at one the other day that was like $833 a week, and I was like, oh, that's kind of scary. That's a lot of money. Like, here's my own money beliefs coming up, shitty money story coming up right here, right for you live. And it instantly stopped me from even asking, is there something else I can do? Is there something else that I can commit to? Because that price itself just seemed so far out, or just seemed so much for, well, what is my value if I'm going to pay that kind of money? Is it going to be good enough? I've been screwed over before. So I'm saying this live to you guys right now because I don't want you to see the price tag and go, guess I'll never heal. Guess I'll never grow. That's not how we do business here at Ignite Trombley Coaching. The doors are open for everybody. We want to invite you in. We want to lift you up, and we want to rise with you in a format where the energetic exchange between me, you, between coach, between client is completely matched and aligned for the greatest, most powerful, abundant good. So 30 minutes here, you guys. I gave you all the details about Mentor Wealth Rise Up, our master class, and our master code course. And at this point, truly and honestly, this is a no-brainer. That's all I can say here. Me and my husband were talking about it last night, and that's what I said. This is a no-brainer. This course, this container is impactful. It is incredible, and it's priced to be in the hands of everyone. So come on live. Join us when you can. Catch the replay. Reach out. Let's talk. And stay in this group because, not that I intended on it, but we have a ton of good shit continuing to happen through the rest of the July because I love you guys and I'm excited to give you all this shit to just work with you this month. So stay tuned. Reach out. Blah, 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 and catch our next one, which is tomorrow, since I totally spaced this class last night. So we have another video coming tomorrow, and off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you what it's about, but we will see you tomorrow. That is that. Ta-ta!